Ashton and all the Wodak people.
Hi, Tori.
No.
Wodak people. The motion
No,
because we
they
score
said.
the most.
Yeah, Tori.
No, they said.
But Tori's probably not
And
watching this because
Ashton.
she's smart.
All
Love
right.
you, Ashton.
I don't think we will.
All right. So we are to
Just
this
kidding,
point.
Sorry. There you go.
We are to this point where we need to do 3, 5, 3, 6, 3, 7, and then we are done filling out this lotus chart. Okay. I will again say to you.
It was covered.
I will again say to you that this lotus chart is not going to work magic for you when you take this test tomorrow. So if you have no idea what you're doing, do not expect to do well.
We're taking this test tomorrow.
Because yes, this test
We're
is
not
tomorrow.
having a review day where we
This
play
is your
a
review
fun
day.
game.
This is your review day.
I
Okay.
want a fun game.
So there's that. All right. So 3, 5
You gotta
is
do
the
stuff.
section on completing the square. So I'm going to do 2 things. There's one thing that we have to talk about, which is the square root property.
Wait, I can't see it.
Square root property. I need to get a pen. Square root property and the completing the square.
Shut up.
Square root property, complete the square. Those 2 things. All right. I'm going to look at the square root property. Square root property it asks for on 26, 27, 28. Do you have a preference? Which
Yes.
one do you do? Which one?
26.
26, 27, 28. Doesn't matter.
28.
28, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so 28 x squared plus 10x plus 25 equals 16. Okay, this is number 28. So all you need to do is just recopy it down on number 28 when you are done. So the square root property, we want to be able to write this thing as a factor. And those factors need to be the same number, right? Okay? So this is just a part of completing the square because we don't have to fill in the blank. The blank is already filled in for us. What number is in the blank spot?
16. Oh.
What number is in the blank spot?
What?
25,
I
right?
don't see it.
What number? That's because it's filled in for us, right? The number that usually goes in the blank is this number right here, which is 25, okay? What number do you add to itself to get 10?
5.
And is 5 times 5 25?
Yes.
So 25 is what we would normally put in the blank, but it's already there for us. So we don't have to do that part, right? This is only like the second half of completing the square. So what goes in these parentheses here?
5 and 5. X.
X plus 5 and
X plus 5.
x plus 5 equals what? 16. Okay, now, this is number 28.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Make it equal, set them equal to.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
You're minus 5 over.
Nope.
What? Why?
X plus 5 squared
Yes.
equals 16.
Now we do x plus 5 squared
I
equals
wasn't good
16.
at this.
Okay, x plus 5 squared equals 16. X plus 5 times x plus 5 is x plus 5 squared.
And
That's
then
what we
you
do.
and then you have to subtract 5 over.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
Square root.
Take the square root. Okay, square root here, square root here. So,
Excuse me?
x plus 5 is going to fall out. What's the square root of 16?
4.
No.
What? There isn't.
Yes, there is. What's the square root of 16?
4.
No.
What?
What's the square root of 16?
There isn't one.
What?
Plus or negative 4.
Oh, plus and minus 4.
Oh my gosh.
You have to have both. You have to have both or it's wrong. Plus and minus 4. Because 4 times 4 is 16. Negative 4 times negative 4 is also 16. Then what?
Subtract 5 over.
Subtract the 5 over.
0.
Okay? Minus 5, minus 5. So we have that x equals 4 minus 5 and x equals negative 4 minus 5, right? Those are my 2 answers. Positive 4 minus 5, negative 4 minus 5, yeah?
Don't you want to put them together?
No.
What? You only write it as one piece if it doesn't come out of the square root nicely. If it comes out nicely, you can just write it nicely. Okay? So as the square root came out nicely, we can go ahead and separate it into 2 separate pieces. Okay? So, 4 minus 5, what's that? Negative 1 is one of the answers, right? What's the other one?
Negative 9.
Negative 9. Okay? All right, so we'll do a completing the square where it doesn't come out nicely. So I'm going to pick the one.
Wait, what?
Just wait a second. I'm going to pick the one that doesn't come out nicely. So you get an example of both. Yes, we're going to do number
Question.
29.
I forgot what's the difference of completing the square and square root property.
Square root property is only the second half of completing the square. I'll show you how they fit together. Okay, so just wait. We're going to do 29 now.
29.
29. This one comes out a slightly different answer.
Does
Okay?
it come out icky?
It comes out
That's the
icky.
answer?
Well, kind of.
Wait, what one are we doing?
29. 29. Okay, x squared plus 16x minus 7. Okay, now here's the issue. Here's the issue. What do you add to itself to get 16?
8.
8, but is 8 times 8 negative 7?
Not that I recall.
Not that you recall. So what do we have to do to that negative 7?
Flip it around.
You have to divide by -1.
No.
No. I don't know. Multiply the whole thing by a number.
I need my blank to be here, where the negative 7 is, right?
So subtract it over.
Yep, x squared plus 16x plus blank equals, if I move the 7 to the other side,
7.
it will be 7 plus blank, right?
Wait,
And I'm
why
running
would
to the
you
other
put
side.
blank?
Because I need to put in that blank, whatever this number squared is.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so I want to write this as two separate as two factors here. So what do I have to add to itself to get 16, by the way, again?
8.
8 and 8. So x plus 8 and x plus 8, right? Then what has to go in the blank?
8.
-8.
Nope.
Plus minus 8.
64 needs to go in the blank because 8 times 8 is 64, right? What do we multiply to get 64? We want to add them to be 16 with 8 and 8. Yeah?
8 and 8.
8 and 8. So if I add 64 to the one side, I have to
Add it to the other.
add it to the other. 64 is here also. Okay, equals, so this guy is
71.
71. Okay, I'm trying to make him small again. Okay, now, at this point, I am at the same step as I was over here, right? Okay, so we had to do, for completing the square, so this is the answer to Tegan's question. When we are doing the completing the square, we have to do one extra step. We actually have to do the blank part. This part had the blank kind of filled in for me, right? The 25 was already there, and then I just had to reduce from there. Okay?
Okay, but 71 is not a good square.
71 is not a good square root, so we're going to leave it. Okay? So x plus 8 squared equals 71, right? X plus 8 squared equals 71, and then what?
Set it equal.
Nope.
What?
What do we?
need to
Square root.
Take the square root, right?
I thought you just said don't do that.
No, hold on.
Okay, but we're not going to actually find the value of the square root of 71 because it doesn't come out nicely, right? So how do we write it?
Equals
The square root of 71.
You're close.
Plus or minus.
Plus or minus the square root of
That's the
71.
answer?
We're almost there. I need to get x by itself.
Subtract 8.
So subtract 8. Subtract 8. So what will this answer look like?
X equals the plus minus. Oh wait, 8, negative 8.
Negative 8 plus minus the square root of 71.
Can you do just like that? Minus 8.
You can do that minus 8. I usually just put that this first, right? Because this is in the form of like the quadratic formula, negative b plus minus square root, right? Okay, so that's why I write the number first before the square root. But it's not wrong if you do it the other way, right? Okay, so completing the square is just one little step further than the square root property, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, next. This section, what's the title of section 3.6?
It's a quadratic formula and discriminant.
Quadratic formula and discriminant. Okay, so I'm going to do for this one, quadratic formula and discriminant, let's do 34 because it's kind of ugly. 3x squared plus 9x minus 2 equals 0. Okay, and on the one side, we're going to do the discriminant.
Wait, the discriminant is really easy though.
Yep. And on the other side, we're going to do the quadratic formula. Okay, so one side of that is going to be discriminant of that thing. Other side is going to be actually doing the entire quadratic formula. Okay? All right, so the discriminant. The discriminant. What is the discriminant?
It's
Isn't it, I don't know.
hold on.
Wait.
What is the discriminant?
The discriminant is the one, or isn't the
It's in the
It's in
square
the square
root.
root.
It's the step underneath of the square root. What is underneath of the square root?
9.
No. What's underneath the square root?
3?
No. What's
No.
underneath of the square root?
6.
I don't know.
6.
Negative b plus and minus square root
Of
of what?
b squared, negative b squared. Negative 9. Plus 4a.
b squared minus 4ac. That's the discriminant. b squared minus 4ac.
Yeah.
That's all that stuff that was underneath, right?
Yes.
All that stuff that's underneath. Okay, so according to this problem here,
It's negative
B
9.
squared. Just wait. What is B squared?
B squared is not
81.
81 minus 4 times A is 3 and C is
Negative 2.
negative 2. Okay, so just slow down here. Negative 4 times 3 times negative 2 is what?
20.
Positive 24, right? This is positive 24. So 81 plus 24 is,
105.
that's my discriminant. 105. Okay, now imagine that 105 is underneath of the square root. How many solutions am I going to have?
You're gonna have 2.
105.
Why are you going to have 2 solutions?
Because it's a positive number.
Yes, okay, but where do the 2 solutions come from?
From the minus 2.
From one positive square root of 105 and negative square root of 105, plus and minus, right? Plus and minus is 2 solutions. So if it's a positive number, you will have 2 solutions. Okay, what happens if it's a negative number? If that would have turned out to be a negative number,
I.
why is there no solutions?
Because it's negative. You can't have.
You cannot have a negative inside of a square root, which means you have an imaginary solution. Imaginary number, okay? And when do you get one solution,
When it's 0.
right? Why do you get one solution when it's 0?
Because it only touches it once.
Right? If I take a number and I add 0 to it, is that the same thing as that number minus 0?
What?
If I take a number and I add 0 to it, is that the same as the number minus 0?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So that's why I'm going to get
What
one
number
solution.
Was that 34?
Okay, that was 34, and that was just parts A and B. So the discriminant is 105, and that tells me that this guy has how many solutions?
2.
2 solutions. He has 2 solutions. Okay, now let's do the entire quadratic formula to it. Okay, but we've already have like half of it done.
Yeah, because we
Right,
already know what
right.
the inside of the
So negative B, just wait. Negative B plus minus square root. B squared minus 4AC all over
2A.
A. Okay, so let's fill this in. What is negative B?
Negative 9.
Negative 9 plus minus square root of blah, blah, blah. We can write that all in again, except
105.
we know what B squared minus 4AC is, and it is, oh my gosh, she's just like going crazy over there. 105,
2 times 3.
which is
6.
6. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay? All right, now what?
Now you set it equals 0.
No.
Oh, you 9 plus. Oh, square root? Square root?
Yes.
The square root of 105 doesn't come out nicely, so we're just leave it. Okay?
So that's the
Now,
answer.
yeah, that's it. Now, how many solutions does this represent?
9.
2, right?
I
But
know.
since it's
Just
plus
wait,
or
just wait.
minus.
Negative 9 plus the square root of 105 over 2, or over 6, and negative 9 minus the square root of 105 over 6. Now, if I plug this into my calculator, I'm going to get decimal numbers. How many decimal numbers?
2.
2, right? One over here, one over here. What do those 2 decimal numbers represent?
How many?
2
yeah.
solutions, which is what does that mean?
It means it's positive.
It's the zeros, it's where it crosses. There's 2 places is where it's going to cross, right? 2 solutions, 2 places it crosses. Capiche?
Gosh.
Capash. Those are the 2 places where it crosses. All right, going on to 3-7. Last one.
Wait.
35. I'm going to write this problem down for 35.
I already did 35, but then you said there was a typo.
There is a typo in it.
That's not
35. I want you to change that. It should be x squared. There is 2 35s.
Wow, where'd you
We're doing the left one, the graphy one.
Oh, wait, no, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
It
Okay.
says minus.
It should be -5. That's the typo. So fix that on your sheet. On your sheet, the typo is. It should be -5, yeah?
Wait, whoa, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, it should be -5. Otherwise, this comes out ugly.
I need a new pen.
Okay, so this guy is quadratic inequality. So we need to graph this thing. That's what number 35 asks us to do.
You have to find the y intercept.
Right.
Intercept and the vertex.
Sure, let's do that.
Yeah,
So
y-intercept's -5.
y-intercept, let's do vertex here. And let's do x-intercepts here. Okay?
Wait, don't we combine the axes?
Well, the axis of symmetry is kind of embedded in the vertex, so I'm not going to put as much emphasis on that because it's not terribly important. in finding this. So axis of symmetry we're going to leave out for this problem, okay? Okay, so in this problem, what's the y-intercept?
The y-intercept is -5.
You betcha. -5 is the last number.
And then you have to plug -5 to get their x. Right?
What?
No.
Uh-uh.
No. You put it
The
wait,
vertex.
No.
How do you find the vertex?
negative b over 2a.
Negative b over 2a, if you need to write that down again. And then you plug it back in. Okay, that's the formula for vertex. Negative b over 2a. Okay, so when I do negative b over 2a,
That's
Negative
-2.
4.
negative 4 over 2 times 1 is
-2.
negative 2. Okay, then if we plug him back in,
4 plus -8 minus 5.
negative 2 squared plus 4 times negative 2 minus 5.
Is -9.
4 minus 8 minus 5 is negative 9, you said?
Yes.
Okay, this is my vertex. Okay, so we're getting closer. We're getting closer. We've got those two things, right? -5 and -2, -9. We're going to graph them here in a minute. And the x-intercepts. The x-intercepts.
X-intercepts, you can do the
Negative.
So what I'm doing is I'm looking for x squared plus 4x minus 5 equals 0.
you can do the quadratic formula.
You can, but what's faster?
The
X squared plus 4x minus 5. Let me break them down. It's a simple trinomial. Can you multiply something together to get -5, but when you add them, you do 4?
No. Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
5 and 1.
5 and 1. What combination of 5 and 1?
Positive 5, negative 4.
X plus 5, x minus 1. So that means x equals,
-5 and 1.
and x equals 1. Okay, so let's graph this guy here. I'm going to put him down over here, maybe somewhere. I'm gonna do that. Okay, so he's going to cross at -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to cross right here. The y-intercept is -5. Then I go -2, -9. I'm going to put him just right down here at the bottom. Okay, what does -5 and positive 1 tell me?
That's the x-intercept.
Yep. Right here and right here. Okay, and I'm also going to put another dot right here on the left side of him because I know he's going to touch there as well, right? Okay, now before I graph this thing, let's
Wait,
Use
okay,
a
I have a
dotted
question.
line.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I messed up on the graphing. So with the y-intercept, you still plot it at -5, but you also plot the vertex at -2, -9, right? And then when you go in, you plot the -5 on the
Yes. It's right here. Okay. Now, I'm going to connect those lines, but
But it has to be dotted.
it has to be dotted. What tells you it has to be dotted?
Because it has to
Because
be-
it's not equal to
This thing right here tells me it has to be dotted. That thing right there. So, he's going to be dotted. Like that. Okay? And then, what else? Y is greater than that.
So y is
shade in between.
Y is greater than. So, we're going to shade in
in
between. In between. We shade right there.
Abigail, write this on your notes. If it's a smiley face, it's shaded inside if it's greater than.
Okay?
Or if you just stretch them out.
All
where it's
right,
greater.
now, the last thing that we have to do is the solution.
So the solution is
So this, what I do is I look at this guy right here.
-5.
Just wait. So I look at that guy. Can my X live over here?
No.
No. Can my X live? Just wait. Can my X live over here?
No.
Excellent.
Can my X live in the middle here?
Yes.
Yes. So X has to live in between where?
-5,
And
1.
is it equal to?
No.
No. X has to live in between those two values. Does that make sense to you? Yes?
I have a question. Okay, so if it were to go outside, you just put the center.
If it has to go outside, that's a good question. Okay. And I'm going to put this up here on the board in case somebody has a question over this.
Just be outside.
So hold on. So if instead this guy said y is less than, what was the question? X squared plus 4x minus 5. He would still be this function at -2, -9, at 5, blah, 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 1, 5. Here he would still look like this. Okay? But if y is less than,
It's shaded outside.
he would be shaded outside. Okay? He would shade it outside like this. So x cannot be living in here. Okay, and this guy from here to here is represented by what?
haven't done
Greater
it.
than.
X is what?
Greater than.
Nope.
Less than.
Less than -5, and from here and beyond is
Greater.
X is greater than
1.
1. So since they are two separate pieces, I will write them as two separate pieces. Yeah?
I feel like I did something.
Yeah? Yeah. Okay, so there is that. Okay? Good, that's all I have for notes. Now I will tell you again. If you do not understand what was going on here, it's not going to work magic for you. I promise. I promise it won't. I've seen it fail so many times. Right? So if you struggle, go back and look at your notes. Come ask me. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. But this will not work magic for you if you don't know what's going on already. All right? Okay, anything else that we need to do before I shut the video off?
Buy one act.
Wait, hold on.
Buy one act, people.
I challenge you all.
One act people, would you like to ask some questions? No.
Okay, well,
If she breathes.
did you just
Sorry.